Hello everyone, welcome to week 4 of the TBL. Your New York Empoleons are going to be taking on CJ Beasley and the Philadelphia Phiones here in this matchup this week. We have a tough one here this week. His team is absolutely horrifying. As you can see on the screen, I'm predicting him to bring Mega Scizor, Cresselia, Mismagius, Tapu Koko, Kyurem Black, and Arcanine, but he could bring any number of threats between Porygon 2 and Nidoqueen and Clawitzer and Sandslash. So if we see those, hopefully we have answers to them. We should have answers to everything, but this is the team I'm expecting him to bring, so I will get connected with him, and I will see you guys back here in a sec. Alright guys, welcome back, and here we are. We've got CJ, coach of the Philadelphia Phiones, on the other side of the screen, and we will be seeing right now what he's about to bring. Now, naturally, I get nervous before these battles, and last week was so frantic because I didn't have the ability to record it for you guys like I normally would. So it's nice to be back in this setting, but as you recall, we are going to be bringing this team right here. So that's fun. That's fine. We'll put on some background music as well. Anyway, we've got Gardevoir, Marowak, Jellicent, Latias, Mega Venusaur, and Infernape this week to try to handle the threats that he does bring. And here we go, the big reveal. It's not what I expected. Nidoqueen, Mismagius. I mean, I didn't know what he was going to bring. Porygon 2, Mega Scizor, Arcanine, and Kyurem Black. So he doesn't have the Tapu Koko, and that's good because my team outspeeds his team as a result of that. That was the only thing that was going to outspeed some of my threats, and he doesn't have it. So unless he's running something Scarfed, I can outspeed him, and that's good to know. And he doesn't have the Cresselia. So his only thing off the ground from Earthquake is Mismagius. And in fact, he has the Nidoqueen, which I do expect him to lead with. That would not surprise me at all. And as a result, because I think he wants to put rocks up, and it's his only Stealth Rocker. And as a result, I think my best play is going to be Jellicent as a counter lead to that. Also, since he doesn't have a Tapu Koko, Jellicent puts in a lot of work. His Kyurem could have Fusion Bolt, but I can take one. So that's good. And his Nidoqueen could obviously have Thunderbolt, but I take that really, really well. So it's a 2-hit KO, but not by a lot. If he leads Nidoqueen, I could also lead Bonehead. Alright, I'm going to lead with Latias. I think that's the play. I think Latias is the safest lead. Because it really doesn't matter what he has. Latias outspeeds it unless it's Scarfed. It's got Dragonium Z that it can just click. He doesn't have the Tapu Koko, so there's nothing that he can switch in safely on a Dragonium Z Draco Meteor from a Latias. So, oh, nervous. Let's find out what he's about to bring. And, lead with. So we have Murr, our Latias, shiny Latias hitting the field for the first time. Rip, Murkrow is the Mismagius. So this thing could be Scarfed. Could easily be Scarfed, knowing that I would speed creep this thing, and I did make sure that I am outspeeding a timid Mismagius every time. I know Dragonium Z first turn, probably not necessarily the best play. He could easily switch into Porygon Z or Mega Scizor to take it. Shadow Ball does 50 to 60% of this thing, but Dragonium Z, Draco Meteor, Okos. And if I can get rid of this thing, I'd be very, very happy. So, the other option is Thunder Wave. He has no immunities to Thunder Wave. Oh, he has Nidoqueen. He can't go into Nidoqueen on this thing. No. I just click Z Draco and Thunderbolt or Thunder Wave. So he goes for the Psychic. He is Scarfed, but he's about to die. So he's Scarfed, he goes for the Psychic. I think he was predicting me to switch out, predicting his Shadow Ball, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going to slam him with a Draconium Z Draco Meteor. On the first turn of the game, if I can get rid of Mismagius, that's a huge threat off my back, and that thing is just going to go straight down. So that's just one less thing to worry about in this week's battle. So I'm really, really happy about that. So we're going to say Latias, Latias kills Mismagius with Draconium Z. Okay. So now we're up a Pokemon right away. First turn, getting that early lead. We've obviously revealed our item. He can't go into Nidoqueen on his Latias. He just can't. And that means that I probably get a free Thunder Wave on something. Psyshock, if he does go into the Nidoqueen, does 70 to 80%, and Ice Beam does not Oko me back. So I could just stay in and do that. I think the Thunder Wave and the keeping the healthy Latias for later is important. So if he does go into Nidoqueen, I will switch out into, I'm not sure what yet, to be perfectly honest, but I don't expect him to go to Nidoqueen here. I don't think he has a really safe switch into this thing. And he knows that I'm not choiced in any way because he saw the Dragonium Z, so he's got a tough decision to make. He could go into Scizor, but he has to be fearing the HP Fire. I ran it last week on this, and so he has to be thinking that I could and easily would run it this week. In comes the Kyurem. Now, if this thing's not Scarfed, would he run 2 Scarfers? Would he run Scarf Kyurem Black? Well, you know what? Let's find out if he's running Scarf Kyurem Black. We have an easy opportunity to just click Draco here. We outspeed it every time, unless he's choice Scarf. And we have not gotten the special attack drop because we used the Z move. So let's just go for a Draco, and supposing we land it, we kill this thing. You'd have to be ridiculously invested to survive this. So that would be huge if Latias can come in and click 2 moves and get 2 kills. And let's see, can he take a Draco? He cannot, so he does not have the crazy amount of special defense investment and HP investment he would need to do that. Latias kills Kyurem Black with Draco Meteor. Alright, so Latias coming in and putting in work. I think Porygon 2 is a switch in here. He comes into Scizor, so he does get his free Mega up, which is unfortunate. But we have our answer to Scizor. Our answer to Scizor every time is just going into the Jellicent. He could easily knock off here. I could see a knockoff coming out, which makes me want to go into Venusaur. He can't really touch Venusaur anyway. I know Jellicent is my dedicated switch in. Venusaur can't really touch a Scizor, but I'm kind of expecting him to U-turn, to just Mega Evolve and U-turn. And that wouldn't do that much to Venusaur, and it allows me to get my Mega up next turn. Or, no, because that would bait in the Arcanine. I mean, I'd have to switch out. I don't have HP Fire on this thing, and I'm at -2. It's just either Jellicent or Venusaur, and admittedly, I think he's gonna knock off here. And Jellicent can take it. It has the Culver Berry, but I don't want to waste it here. So let's go into Venusaur. It gives me a Leech Seed next turn, and so let's just get Marsaur in here, and let's see. So he is gonna get his Mega off, as is required in this league, so that's not surprising at all. And he does go straight for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor. And that does over half. But if I Mega, I will take another. And I want a Mega. And I want a Synthesis here. It does a lot of damage. And so because of the X-Scissor, I think, obviously, the Jellicent would have been the right play. But now we can Synthesis stall him after we Mega Evolve, because it won't do half again. Because we do get some bulk out of this Mega Evolution. Just enough to take another one. And I was expecting the U-turn. He's probably... I'm surprised you're running X-Scissor over Bug Bite. Bug Bite would be more powerful, excuse me, after Technician Boost. But potentially you can't have Bug Bite if he's Defog. I'm not actually sure what the Scizor Bug Bite necessity, like, is it an egg move where Defog has to be taught in like Gen 4 or whatever. So I'm not 100% sure on that. I could check. And probably should check just to see, because there's no reason. I've got some time. I've made my move. So Scizor. So Bug Bite. Defog is an egg move. Bug Bite is a move tutor move. But I think Defog was also an egg move last gen, so when that was a move tutor move, so he could have both. Yeah, so he could have had both. But he doesn't, so that's fine. I'll take the X-Scissor. I'll take the X-Scissor. So we do bait in the Arcanine here, and that's okay. We get back to full health, and we're Mega Evolved now for the rest of the game. And what is Arcanine gonna really do to Jellicent? I mean, is it special Arcanine? Oh no, I mean, Wild Charge does some. Crunch does some. Right, but that's fine. I don't know, did we see Intimidate? I wasn't looking at the screen. We did see Intimidate, so I should mark that down. Arcanine, Intimidate. It's an Intimidate Arcanine. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. So at this point, I could just stay in and Leech Seed. Flare Blitz doesn't do 50%. And I think that's the play. Stay in and Leech Seed. Goes for the Sunny Day. That's not where I meant to put that. I just typed Sunny into my damage calc. Sunny Day. Interesting. Alright. Did we miss the Leech Seed? Did we get the Leech Seed? I think we missed the Leech Seed. Okay. I mean, we have Earthquake, which does 30%. We have Sludge Bomb, which does 40% to a standard Arcanine. I'm not sure. I'm obviously not sure this is a standard Arcanine. Sunny Day is scary. Makes me want to bring in my Jellicent. And I think I will. Because it stalls out a turn of Sunny Day. And my Venusaur stays at full health for later, which is obviously important. And we get to get more information about this Arcanine set. Is he running like Sunny Day, Morning Sun? Is he running Solar Beam for the Jellicent, which I totally should have predicted, but didn't? I don't think he's going to go for it if he is. So I'll switch back out into Venusaur after this. Is this Bloom Doom? Did he just predict me so hard? What move is this? What move is this? Okay, it's Inferno Overdrive, so he's got Z, Fire Z. I didn't think that was the grass one, but I couldn't remember. So it's a great switch we made into Jellicent there. Jellicent should eat that just fine, even the sun. And so at this point, I'm expecting a Solar Beam, so I'm gonna go right back into Venusaur to try to take that Solar Beam. So I want information about what he's running. Is he running a special Arcanine? He is running a Solar Beam. All right, so we do get that information. That's really, really valuable information. Now, I would have loved to have the Leech Seed on this thing. That would have been 3 turns of Leech Seed. My Jellicent would have been a little bit healthier, but we're making the best out of this situation that we missed it. And so we'll just go for it again. He has nothing he wants to switch into it. Nidoqueen doesn't love switching into a Venusaur. Kyurem is dead. Porygon Z can, or Porygon 2 can, and it does. And he gets to download his physical attack, because I made sure that my Pokemon had special defensive investment, so that they were all, so this Porygon Z should be almost always getting physical attack. And we do connect the Leech Seed on this. Now we don't have the Toxic on this, we have the Toxic on the Jellicent, which is now at about half. So it doesn't really make me want to bring it in on a hard switch. So I'm just gonna, and I don't have knockoff on this either. I have knockoff on the Marowak, but I know that the Arcanine is special, and so I don't like bringing my Marowak in on the special Arcanine. So Marowak probably has to come in on the Porygon 2. I mean, on the Mega Scizor or the Nidoqueen. Doesn't love coming in on a Porygon 2 at all. Even though it would outspeed it. And that's interesting. So I'm going to click Sludge Bomb here. It's not going to do very much. Could get regular Poison though, and Poison plus Leech Seed every turn means this thing can't just sit there and stall forever. Goes for the Charge Beam. Huh, so if I'd switch into Marowak there, that would have been great. Sunlight Faded, he does not get the boost. So I think I can go into Marowak pretty safely here. He's probably going to recover. Or Charge Beam again. And he didn't get the boost, which is important. So I think Marowak is pretty free here. And I get to click Substitute. Which is exciting. Because Marowak has a really good matchup against this team. And if I can click Substitute and then knock off his Eviolite if he stays in. So he's just going to hard switch out. What does he go into? He goes into Scizor. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Mega Scizor does not manage to OHKO a Marowak, but if he does have knockoff and knocks off my Thick Club, I'm doing like no damage to anything. Oh, and my Boomerang does so much work. I can't stay in on a Scizor. I can't stay in on the Scizor. That's really upsetting. I like that switch. I would have loved that one turn later when I got my sub up. But if he has the knockoff, I cannot stay in on this thing at all. So yeah, let's definitely switch out back into the Venusaur. Definitely don't want to be in on the Scizor here. And he goes straight for a Swords Dance. Okay. Okay, so we got problems. We got problems. Let's click Leech Seed. Let's see what he goes for here. Connect the Leech Seed, so we do. We outspeed him with Venusaur. Venusaur is not as speed invested, so that's important. That's good information. So that does... But I'm so glad we outspeed him, and I'm so glad we got the Leech Seed, because that means that we can just Synthesis. And between Synthesis and Leech Seed, we're going to take a couple more hits. And that's so important to get that little bit of damage off on Scizor here. Infernape still has its Focus Sash intact, so I can easily go out into that. So he goes for the Bullet Punch. Does Bullet Punch take me out from here? At +2, it does. Okay. Okay, so he has the Bullet. He reveals the Bullet Punch. So he reveals Swords Dance and Bullet Punch. Should mark that down. Swords Dance and Bullet Punch. Additionally, his Porygon 2 showed us Charge Beam. Porygon 2 shows Charge Beam. So I do have the Focus Sash on the on the Infernape. And we know it's not Flash Fire Arcanine, so I can go for a Fire Punch freely. And if he switches out into Arcanine, that's fine. But I can't risk him staying in and clicking anything. Although I resist Bullet Punch, I resist X-Scizor, and if he has Knockoff as his last move, I resist that too. So that's fine by me. Perfectly happy to resist everything he can do. And so, obviously Mega Venusaur going down, so Mega Scizor kills Mega Venusaur with Bullet Punch. So that's not great, but Mega Venusaur was only going to do so much for me for the rest of this battle. It didn't have the HP Fire, and it didn't, it just had Leech Seed. It was just going to sit there and stall things, and honestly, I'm okay with it going down and getting a Safe Switch into my Infernape here. And as long as I can just Fire Punch this Porygon 2, he can get his... I think this one is random. I think this Infernape has equal stats in both of those. But I don't think it can take that plus a Close Combat. And so I'm just going to click Close Combat. He could go into the Nidoqueen if he wants to. He could go back into the Scizor if he wants to. He could go into the Arcanine if he wants to and intimidate me. A lot of options for him. He doesn't have the Miss Magius though, so it's a safe knockoff, a safe Close Combat. And I keep my Focus Sash intact no matter what situation is presented, so I can switch out and come back in later on that Scizor with the Focus Sash intact. So even if, you know, if he stays in and I kill Porygon 2, great. If he switches out and I get a ton of damage off on Arcanine or Scizor, great. If he switches into the Nidoqueen and I get very little damage off, it's chip damage on the Nidoqueen. That's important. And I switch right out and keep this thing healthy and ready to go. This Infernape is going to be vital as this game comes to its conclusion, whether or not I can keep that Focus Sash intact. And part of that is going to be making sure his Nidoqueen does not get an opportunity to set up rocks, which it may get right here. It's about to get an opportunity to set up rocks, which makes me want to stay in, but I don't think I can. Well, if he's going to set up rocks, I lose my Focus Sash anyway. And if I outspeed, and I can obviously take one hit. If he does set up rocks, I get 2 attacks off on this thing. And I can just click Earthquake twice and KO this thing. So his Porygon 2 is really low. I don't know if it can take a hit from much of anything except maybe the Jellicent anymore. So if he switches on the Jellicent, obviously he's trying to go for a recover, and I can just Toxic at that point. So this is going to do a chunk. It doesn't KO. Does he get his rocks up, or does he go for an attack? He goes for a crunch, so he's predicting me to switch. He's also a physical Nidoqueen, which is something. I didn't know that was a thing people ran often, but it's an option. And that allows me to freely Fire Punch again, I think. But I like Earthquake better here because it hits the Arcanine, which makes... Well, Arcanine wouldn't switch in on Earthquake, right? Scizor would. Or Porygon 2 would. I could Close Combat. I can Close... I don't really love Close Combat because it lowers my defenses again. And I'm already at -1. But he doesn't get his rocks up, and that's really helpful. So I can... It's either Fire Punch or Earthquake. Fire Punch does more to everything, except the Nidoqueen, but that doesn't matter. We're gonna Fire Punch here. Goes for the Sucker Punch, so he's got Crunch, Sucker Punch, so I don't know what Pokemon this thing was prepared for. Latios, probably. But we are gonna take it out, so Infernape kills Nidoqueen with Fire Punch. Don't know what item it was. Maybe a Life Orb. No, definitely not a Life Orb because Sucker Punch doesn't have... it would have taken Life Orb recoil from the Sucker Punch. Wasn't Scarfed. Wasn't Black Sludge. So not sure what item that was. Maybe Assault Vest. Scizor comes out. We're at -1. Does a Bullet Punch kill from here? That's not how I do that. Does a Bullet Punch kill at -1? Bullet Punch is doing 63 to 74 damage, and I have 59 health, so it does kill at -1. Okay. But the risk is I don't want him to Swords Dance, right? So I stay in and I let Hothead go down. Hothead is not needed for the rest of his team. Then I go out into my Gardevoir because he doesn't Swords Dance because he Bullet Punched. Gardevoir can take 1 Bullet Punch, HP Fire, kill the Scizor. And then if he does Swords Dance, then I kill him with Fire Punch because I stayed in. So I have to Fire Punch if he goes for the Swords Dance. So he goes for the Bullet Punch, that'll kill. That's fine. I think this is the best possible play. So Mega Scizor kills Infernape with Bullet Punch. And at this point I can go into Gardevoir and get the kill. Or I can go to Jellicent and just eat up a hit. Or I can go into my Latios and bluff HP Fire, but I don't actually have HP Fire. So that's really, really risky. In that way. Without a crit, he does not OHKO Gardevoir with a Bullet Punch. He has to be suspicious about me bringing in a Gardevoir on a Mega Scizor. he has to immediately be suspicious of what's going to happen, but I have EV'd it to survive a non-crit bullet punch. So I have no choice. The play is Hidden Power Fire. If he switches out into Arcanine, then he switches out into Arcanine, and I switch this thing out and bring it in again later. And because it can't take damage, and he has no way of setting up hazards anymore, so this thing, this Gardevoir, now that my Infernape's gone, cannot take damage. Jellicent can take a hit, just not a Swords Dance knockoff. So it can take one knockoff, fine, and get off a Scald and hopefully burn, or recover for a little bit. But if he Swords Dances in my face while I'm recovering and I don't get a burn on the Scald, I'm not running Will-O-Wisp this week, then I may be boned at that point. So if he gets a Swords Dance off, I'm screwed. So at this point, I just need this Gardevoir to survive a hit from the Scizor. And it comes down to whether or not he crits. I've got Adamant, Max Attack, Mega Scizor, Bullet Punch does 80 to 96% to this Gardevoir. There is 0% chance this kills. I have clicked HP Fire. My decision is made, and at this point it comes down to a 6.25% chance that he crits, and I'm in a really bad spot. He doesn't go for the Bullet Punch at all, and we just get a Technician boosted Hidden Power Fire off and take out the Mega Scizor. I don't know what he was expecting me to do from here. Maybe hard, like, double switch out. I've been doing that a lot this game. But I'm okay with that. So in comes the little thing here, the duck. Porygon 2 takes 21 to 25% with a Moonblast. I'm Technician boosted. Not that that helps my Moonblast any. But I have Technician now, so my HP Fire is doing a little bit more damage. I can switch out and come back in on something later, like the Porygon 2, and get the download boost. What is he going to go for here? Recover, probably? I could see a Recover here. And if I do attack him and don't kill him... I mean, Gardevoir is not going to do anything to the Arcanine, really. So it's really here for this Porygon 2. It's sort of a matter of whether he's more specially defensive or physically defensive, because I have the Psyshock as well. But Moonblast is just a stronger attack in general. So I want to click Moonblast. I want to see if I can get this thing killed. If I can kill the Porygon 2, then I can clean up. Oh, I don't kill it. But I do get a special attack drop. There's the Recover. So, alright, he's playing his outs. That's fine. Now the question is, does this thing have Toxic on it? And would he go for it here? Because Jellicent can come in and click Toxic freely. And I think I'm going to bring Jellicent in here. He's obviously got the Arcanine still to handle the Jellicent with the Solar Beam, and I don't really have a safe switch into the Solar Beam anymore. So he just goes for the Recover again. He's at -1, so I'm not really worried about him. I could have gone into my Marowak there, actually, and clicked Substitute at this point, because I should outspeed it. But I'm going to click Toxic. It hits both of these Pokemon and cripples them. So I click Toxic, he could click Toxic, that'd be fine. Jellicent is admittedly not so needed at this moment in time. Goes to the Charge Beam. So he's going to try to get himself back to neutral. That does basically nothing. He does get himself back to neutral. And he's going to take some Toxic damage at that point. And I can go back into my I can go out in my Marowak here. I can also go back into my Gardevoir and get the download boost and kind of get a gauge on whether he's more physically or specially offensive, or defensive, I mean. I really want to go into Marowak. I'm going to click recover here. We can charge beam and recover on his side. And Jellicent being healthy can help so much against the Arcanine. It can still do a lot of work with a Scald or a Toxic that makes me want to just get some health back with the recover, and another turn of Toxic damage never hurts. If he does get a charge beam off, that stinks. He's at +1, and there's really no way for me to make him go back down without some Moonblast. But it is what it is. I'm not going to be too worried if he's at +1. He really doesn't hit things that hard. So he goes for the Psyshock. Okay. So he goes for the Psyshock, and the Toxic does a little bit of damage. And at this point, I'm just going to go for a Scald. And if he brings in his Arcanine, it's going to take a Scald. And if he stays in, he's going to take a Scald. So there's another Charge Beam. And it's going to do 20%. And he doesn't get the boost again. And we're bringing him down to about 50%. So at this point, he could recover. He could switch out. And he could go for a Charge Beam. I don't see him going for another Psyshock at this point because it did nothing to my Jellicent. And I think no matter what, the best play is into Marowak. Although, yeah, because the Arcanine doesn't have a way of hitting Marowak in one turn with a Grass-type move. And Marowak I can just substitute. If he goes for a Toxic here, that would stink. It would just basically mean that Marowak doesn't get to do its thing this week, which is okay. Goes for the Charge Beam again. And it's going to take a lot of Toxic damage here. So, at this point, Marowak kills this thing, so he has to switch it out. So I get a free substitute. I'm just going to click substitute. And I do outspeed him, as expected. What is his last move? He just goes for the Psyshock, so he's going to break my sub. But Marowak's doing 40% to a Porygon 2 with Bone Meringue. But it doesn't matter, because he's just going to die to Toxic. So Jellicent gets a kill with Toxic. Jellicent kills Porygon 2 with Toxic damage. And his last Pokemon is Arcanine. He has no way of doing a one-turn Grass-type move. He has the Solar Beam, so he could definitely set that up, but Bone Meringue should OHKO an Arcanine. Not after an Intimidate. Yes, after Intimidate, still OHKOs an Arcanine. Holy cow. So I'm just going to click Bone Meringue at this point, and we'll see what he goes for. He could go for the Sunny Day, he could go for the Solar Beam. It would be the same number of turns either way. I'm assuming Sunny Day is the better play for him. We know he's Fire EMZ and not some sort of recovery item, so this should kill, even though I'm intimidated. So he goes for the Sunny Day, as expected. If this doesn't kill for whatever reason, then I'll just switch out. But we do get the Bone Meringue, and that does tons of damage to an Arcanine. Marowak finishing up the game. Just absolutely putting on the pressure at the end of the game with the outspeeding and substitute and getting that Bone Meringue out to finish it up. So that is how I was hoping this game would go. I was super stressed. He got a couple of kills early with, we got a couple of kills early, excuse me, with the Latias, and that really set the tone for this battle. It was an uphill battle for him to come back from that. So, CJ, great game. Thank you so much for that battle. I really do love that you're in the league. And thank you for subscribing on Twitch, by the way. Shoutouts. But, guys, we have just made it to 4-0 to start off this season. And I haven't heard the results of the other battle in my division yet. But there is another team that is currently undefeated. And if he wins this week, we will be facing off. The two 4-0 teams will be facing off next week, week 5, against the British Brooksish, one way or another. So you guys should stay tuned for that. That's going to be an incredible battle. I've already started some team prep for that. It's going to be nuts. So you guys should absolutely stay tuned for that. It's going to be hype. I'm excited for it. I'm excited we got to 4-0. That battle was terrifying, but I'm so glad we were able to come through with the W there. That Mega Scizor absolutely freaked me out. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video and next week for the battle against the British Bruxish and first place in the division at the midway point of the season. Just a reminder that all of the information, all the stats and stuff are down below in the description at the fan doc and stuff. So, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!